Thank you everyone for being here. This is the final Atlanta Startup Convos for the year. And we've got three really exciting companies today that we're pleased to provide a small and humble platform, but to a group of ardent followers who are always looking at what's coming out of Atlanta. So really great to see so many faces, Jay, Cone, and the likes, Huey and Derek. So lots of great folks. And then Monica, great meeting you in our breakout, and hope this is a repeat visit. So we have the format is 5 minutes of showing the product, sharing the story, then 5 minutes of Q&A, and then afterwards two other companies. And so we'll get straight to it. Matt from Claimbot, where are you, Matt? I see you somewhere here, but take it away, and excited to learn more about what you're building.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. So my name is Matt Daniels. I am from Claimbot. Let me get back to the top of the deck here. I'm from Augusta, Georgia, originally. I've made the last 7 years, I have done storm recovery work. So I've basically been in insurance adjusting, large loss hurricanes, basically storm chasing and helping people recover from that loss. And in those 7 years, I've been trying to start different businesses because the industry is very dated. It's about 20 years behind as far as technology goes. And a lot of it is because of it's because of the insurance company. Even though they're always doing research and development, they have a vested interest in the slow and kind of broken process of claims. And so we kind of came up with a new system to be able to fight them. My team is very experienced in insurance adjusting, residential construction, and inspecting. And so we're basically an operations team that's about to start adding in some technology. And I'll show you the platform here right around the corner. So our vision is to become a national third-party claim administrator, where we basically take claims off the insurance company's plate and we drive accuracy. And then we're working on developing an AI platform to make automated decisions, accurate automated decisions. Accuracy is going to be the key, and you're going to hear me repeat that a bunch. And then an automation platform, because the administrative workload and the customer service workload of claims is extremely heavy. And so if you can remove that from the process, you can begin to kind of speed up how you're getting to these accurate results. So basically, this is the flow of a claim. Home is damaged. Either you call your insurance company, they tell you to contact a contractor, or they provide you with a list of contractors. We team up with these local contractors, and that's how we get introduced to the homeowner. And then from there, we inspect, estimate, and negotiate the settlement. Now, sometimes people find us without it. They'll call their contractor directly before they file the claim. So then Claimbot gets introduced, the same kind of flow, except we file their claim for them. We inspect, we estimate, we negotiate the settlement, and we get them to an accurate end. So this is kind of the first screen of the product. What we're building, because the market we're going into is not a fully developed or fully mature market, we're actually having to do the operations piece to develop that market. And so we're building a SaaS platform for internal purposes to be able to bring in homeowners, reduce their stress, give them awareness of what's going on with their claim, giving them ease of use. So think TurboTax, as they're going through kind of the questionnaire where it's one by one through this claim process. And then Claimbot will actually take the claim workload off of the homeowner, and we go and file the claim. We argue and negotiate with the insurance company, and we move this thing towards an accurate settlement. This is kind of the welcome screen. As you can see here down the left-hand margin in this platform, we're going to have a place for them to ask questions with messages, them to file a new claim, and then they're going to have a progress bar kind of showing them where in this claim phase that we're at. The first screen you saw, because this is kind of non-personal, we're going to have a bunch of videos where it may not be my ugly face, but we may get somebody who's a little more appealing to be on there and kind of introduce them and walk them through this, because one of the biggest things with claims is most people don't know. They don't understand. They don't know what's going on. They don't understand their policy. So you can see it automatically gets them confirmed for an inspection. It tracks their data. And then internally, it gives us a workflow where we can basically keep our operations team on point, where we can make sure we're inspecting, estimating, and doing all the different things that we need to do. And then at scale, what we're looking at is growing our operation. We're already in our second city for the year. We just crested $100,000 in revenue. We want to develop this AI platform to begin to identify damage and create estimates automatically, accurate estimates automatically. And then working on some different things to support the contractors who are generating our leads. And this is the ask. We're asking for $500K that is going to go into a float fund, which is going to support our contractor partners, basically speed up the process of repairing the home, engineering, finishing our platform out completely, and then 10% into operations so that we can fully be in those two cities. We're kind of half in Charleston and fully in Augusta, Georgia at the moment. And that's it. I'm ready for questions.
Nice. Matthew, where are you right now? Are you you in Augusta now?
This doesn't look like Augusta? No,
it doesn't look like Augusta.
I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee. I came to the mountains for a week. I was supposed to be on a cruise, and so luckily I'm just in the mountains because of old COVID canceled the cruise on us.
Nice. How far are you away from your first paying customer?
Oh, we just crested 100,000 in revenue.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and we started in March of this year. So that's just under, I don't know, what is that? 6 months, 7 months.
That's great.
So, and we're paying our staff. We're actually hiring an administrator right now. And our hope is by January to have the platform fully up and running. Because right now we basically have a blueprint layout, a UI UX design. Yep. And hopefully having the platform up and then having an inspector in Augusta and an inspector in Charleston. So we're looking to hire 3 more people by January.
Fantastic. Grant asked, how do y'all compare to the Robo Lawyer filler?
Robo Lawyer filler. I'm not 100% clear on what that is. I'm assuming it's very similar because it is settlement related. So because this is insurance work, there's an actual license that you have to have. It's called public adjusting. So, and public adjusting is a licensed, bonded, and insured position that is, it's regulated state by state. There's no national standard. And that's actually, if you actually boil down everything we're trying to do, it's to standardize claims. Because what happens is it depends on the opinions of the individual that comes out to your house. That's what drives claim settlements. And it shouldn't be that way. There should be a standard for what is considered damage, what is considered coverage, and what is considered an appropriate estimate for repair. And that's where we're kind of coming in. That's why we say third-party administrator, because we want to drive right in between property owners and the insurance company and basically say, hey, no more of this arguing, no more of this debating, no more of this bad-mouthing each other. Here's the standard. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. That's
sure. Yeah. Blair asked, notarization, what, as a step on your platform, how do you standardize that? Or
Notarize, so notarize.com. So basically inside of our platform, we're going to have an API for notarize.com, and you can do remote notarization. So we don't actually have to be on site, no paper, none of that. They can basically get on a video chat with a notary from anywhere in the country, doesn't matter where they're located. We've looked into the regulations, and they can get that proof of loss notarized, which is a requirement by your insurance policy that most people don't know.
Yep. A couple questions about just market. Are you going to focus on the South due to hurricanes or prioritize Atlanta?
So this service, public adjusting in general, it actually exists in large market cities and coastal towns. There's about 200 cities that are 500,000 to 1 million people. Zero zero. Like, this is where this idea spurned from, is I was looking for a mentor and there were no public adjusters in Augusta, none. And I was like, well, I'll just figure it out on the fly because this market is ready. Like, let's go make some sales. And so we're focusing on these little kind of side mid-market towns, but we do have plans on jumping into the bigger cities because I think we can be ultra competitive with our efficiency, our platform, because most of these, it's the difference between using Uber and using waving down a taxi with a whistle and a hand wave. Yep. Like, that's what the old school public adjusters are doing.
Nice. Will you be here afterwards to answer more questions? Because I see a few more coming in and
100%.
Okay.
I'll hang around. Yeah.
Matt, thank you for sharing Claimbot's story. We appreciate it, and excited for the continued effort on the product.
Awesome.
Great. All right. William Balance and Will Alfred. What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey.
So y'all been blowing up LinkedIn. If folks aren't following Lavender on LinkedIn, definitely give him a follow. But today is what, day 8 of launching your product over 10 days?
Well, we're launching 10 feature updates over 10 days. So this is day 8 of that. We've had our MVP out since around May, and we've been iterating on it, throughout the summer. I'm Will Balance. I'm one of 3 co-founders at Lavender. My other co-founder, Will Allred, is in the room as well. Our CTO couldn't make it. He is pushing 10 features in 10 days. Total on our team, we have 13, a very stellar team to get this accomplished. But Lavender's goal is to help you write better emails. Our background, Will and I actually met at Techstar Startup Week in Atlanta in 2018 at the Atlanta Tech Village. We won that competition with an idea called Sorter, which was a psychology-driven marketing platform. Some of the tech we built for Lavender, we had built originally for Sorter to analyze marketing copy. Because of COVID, we lost most of our pipeline, and we're kind of uncertain in can we survive the quarantine, how long it's going to last. And we saw this trend toward remote first future of work. And we thought, what if we reposition some of our technology, put it in the inbox, and helped remote first workers write more effective, high emotional intelligence emails? And from that, Lavender was born. Lavender solves this problem that is pretty ubiquitous throughout all industries, of people having a lack of confidence in their writing ability, or writing inconcise emails, or writing unconfident emails, etc. Just having poor writing skills professionally, especially if they're entry level and they don't have a lot of experience in professional writing. We've narrowed this in after testing different markets on sales teams, but our product is valuable to anyone who wants to write more effective emails. But sales teams is the market that we're going after to start with. Within that organization, the problem exists both for the individuals who are struggling to write the emails, but also for the managers who have like a lack of confidence in what their team is sending, or are they ruining relationships? Are they sending the wrong thing, which can result both in lost deals and also lost productivity. Forrester predicts that poor, unclear, inconcise writing costs businesses $400 billion a year in lost productivity, simply from the time wasted of writing a long email, then reading a long email, and then going back and forth over and over in that same process. And that's one thing we solve for, but we also solve for many other things, which I'll show in a second. One of the big standout things that we're seeing is we have users write in all the time. And one stands out in my mind. He was an entry-level SDR in his first year on the job, uses Outreach, which is a cadencing tool. He copy and pasted all of his cadences from Outreach into Lavender. We scored his email, and he found that all of his intro sales emails came off as sad. So if you're a salesperson, you don't want to send sad emails. If you're a manager, you don't want your team sending sad emails. So he was able to correct them using our platform. What we're doing is really enabling anybody, regardless of education or background or anything else, to write confidently to anyone they want to go after. You could be 21 years old, and email a CEO with our platform and do it with confidence. We focus on what we call the 4 C's: clarity, conciseness, correctness, and consideration or empathy of the recipient, and all for the optimization of the chance of getting a positive reply. We do this with a browser extension. So it's a Chrome extension that connects to your G Suite and soon on your Outlook. And it's privacy first, it's encrypted. We don't store your emails like Grammarly does. And we give you data on the people that you're talking to, and then coaching and analysis of your emails. And now with this 10 feature, 10-day push, an entire suite of helpful productivity tools for the sales ecosystem. The first thing we think about when we go through an email process is, how do I quickly personalize at scale? There's a thought leader that we look to who says, spend 5 minutes on personalization. The goal of Lavender is to get that down to 30 seconds. The first thing we launched was a sidebar that showed social data on the people that you're emailing. So their picture, their bio, their tweets, things like that. Today, we're launching company data. So it gives information on their company, the overview of the company, what tech tools they're using. So if you're prospecting for certain types of technologies, is right in the platform now. And also the tech categories that they're buying, and then social data on the company. So if you wanted to pull a few quick facts about the company or the prospect and put in the email, it can all be done without leaving the inbox. The next thing we do is a focus on the actual email analysis. So as you're writing your email, we'll score it for best practices, and we kind of gamify this some by giving a letter grade on how we think the email is going to be understood, received, and responded to by the recipient. We include a writing timer so you can make sure you're staying on track, as well as a reading timer to understand how long it takes for your prospect to read the email. The best emails take under 1 minute to read. On the sidebar, we'll give an analysis of the tones and the sentiments that we find in the email, the clarity level, the reading level. Is your subject in the right range? Is your word count in the right range? Is it going to be cognitively overloading to the recipient, meaning it's going to be hard for them to process? We also look at things like formality and the gender leaning of the email, which it's interesting. A lot of use cases we've heard from the people that have really had some positive impact in like workplace equality using that feature. The next thing we have is email verification. This is always on. So a process right now for salespeople is, if they're trying to guess someone's email at a company, they might go to mailtester.com and try a bunch of different emails or something like that. We've embedded that into our platform, so it's always on, right? When you put in an email address, we'll tell you, is it valid? Is it not valid? So you're not going to get bounces, but also you can use this to try to guess prospects' emails if you don't know their email address off the bat. We also include what we call open awareness, which is like open tracking, but more empathetic to the prospect, because we're taking into account their local time. So if I'm on the West Coast right now, so maybe if you're on the East Coast, you want to be mindful of what time is it for them. You can call them like later in your East Coast time because it's earlier for them. And then the opposite is true. If you're in the West Coast and it's 5 p.m., you may not want to call the prospect then. We'll show you what device they've opened it on. So for example, if they open it on their phone, it might be a good time to call them. Or on their computer, maybe you should send a follow-up email. We've also added GIFs to the inbox. There's a process right now where salespeople always want to add GIFs. It's a new trend, but it's a hard process. You have to go to Google Images, download a GIF, upload it to your inbox, and it's a hard process. So we just made it easy and put it right in the inbox. Search for your favorite GIF, put it in the email, and Lavender has a computer vision model that will score that email for the emotion and tone of the GIF and how it will impact the emotion and tone of your overall email. We also are the first company to add mobile preview to the inbox. So when I was a salesperson, a common thing that I would do is write an email, then email it to myself, look on my phone to see how it looked to make sure it was going to be above the fold in that email. It's a time-consuming process. So we made it easy. Put it in the inbox. You can edit the email right in the mobile preview, and it will reflect in the main compose window, or vice versa. You can drop your images and GIFs. It's all responsive. You can see exactly how it's going to look on your prospect's phone.
Yeah, and it's worth noting the importance of that, because we don't really think about our email behavior too often. You're 8 times more likely to read an email from your phone, and you're 3 times more likely to send it from your computer. So there's this massive mismatch between how it looks when you hit send and how it looks when it hits your recipient.
Well, can you mute your mic? There's like some crashing.
Don't think it's my mic.
I gotcha.
Oh, okay. So tomorrow we're launching, it's like a sneak peek. Tomorrow we're launching recommendations or suggested sentences for different things in the email. So right now, if you score an email on Lavender and a sentence is, let's say it's sad or unsure, it'll highlight it, but you don't know how to change it. It takes like experiment to fix it. So our most requested feature is just suggestions for what other sentences I could use. So we're launching that tomorrow for things like make my sentence more confident or make my sentence more brief or more concise and so on and so forth. So the ability from getting your email analysis to making your email perfect will just be a few seconds because we're going to tell you exactly what to say and how it's going to impact your overall score. Then from there, we do have full analysis or full analytics, both for the individual and for the team. So if you're a manager wanting to see how your team's performing or an individual on the team, or just for yourself, we track everything what we call a CEQ score, a communication effectiveness quotient. It's the KPI that a manager can track to see how is my team performing in aggregate this day, this week, this quarter, this year, and so on and so forth, which presents a good opportunity as we build the product forward for more like internal automated coaching to bring reps up to speed. The last thing we're kind of culminating our launch in is we're launching for Outlook on Friday. Outlook's really big in the enterprise, and that's where a lot of interest is coming in from us right now. And for Gmail, it's really big in startups and mid-market, but we're excited for the Outlook launch because it's also a very highly requested feature. We've had some early success with getting really great logos of people that are really passionate about our product. One of the things we love about salespeople as our users is that they promote us. They just go post about us on social media, which has been a big shift from our last business where people weren't doing that. So it's been really nice. And with that, if you'd like to try it, just go to install.trylavender.com. One of our users, Tom, thinks that we're going to change email forever. So I'd say give it a try. And thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Well done. Well done. You guys have been hard at work on building the product. Have y'all, how much money have y'all raised so far, William?
Well, we've raised a little over $500,000, but a lot of that was for Sorter. So we raised some additional capital for Lavender. That was one of the kind of the points of the pivot was our 8th beta user was a VC who passed on Sorter. And then he used our product, the very first version, thought it was super sticky. 3 days later, he made an offer to fund our pivot. So we took the offer and we pivoted.
Nice. We've got a question from Matthew Daniels. Are there any plans to move more than sales, on moving to more than sales, more like creating teams, Hallmark cards for email?
Yeah, maybe. As far as moving away from just sales, we do think this is a problem that everyone has. Sales is our go-to market because it's our beachhead market, because in most organizations, sales is the second highest headcount behind engineering. They also have budget because the things they invest in have an ROI positive return. So I think we can expand from there. We also looked into HR, recruiting, customer success, and customer service. We have a lot of students on our platform, like 20% of our audience is students that are using it for finding jobs and internships and things like that. We've also talked about a mobile keyboard. So you can imagine this integrated into any consumer app as well in the future, but we're a little ways away from that. We do think there's a lot of opportunity with the tools that we're building and the NLP and computer vision models that our team has built.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's also worth noting we do have a customer support team out of Israel that's using the platform. So, like,
yeah, it's true. One of our users
people outside of sales find it useful.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. 2 other quick questions: pricing model, and then can someone use this with Superhuman or let's just say hey.com?
Yeah, it's a good question. The first one on pricing. We're freemium, so you can get started for free. We have just started focusing on moving the conversion from free to paid. What we're seeing is about an 8% conversion rate on our monthly active from free to paid currently. So we're trying to get that up. The pricing is free. It's free forever, but limited. The first 2 weeks you get it free for unlimited. If you put your credit card in, you get it free for a month to kind of kick you off. For the teams, if you pay, it's $9 a month. For the teams plan, it's $19 a month. That gives you team analytics, etc. And then as far as Hey and Superhuman, no, they're a little more closed of an ecosystem. I think theoretically, if you were using Superhuman's web app, we could overlay on that, but it's on a focus. I personally have been using Superhuman for like 2 years. And so I understand the switching costs from Superhuman to Gmail it's a negative experience. But for my most important emails, I'll still write them in Lavender, score them, and then email them either in Gmail or Superhuman, and then manage the responses through Superhuman, just so it's quicker to use. But Superhuman's not really being used at scale on Teams. So we're focusing more on where Teams using email.
And then I saw a question pop up about CRM integrations. I think that's a great sort of point towards where we're going with the platform. As we sort of process these emails and we can tie them back to a close won or close loss opportunity, our recommendations just become that much more powerful. So yeah, absolutely. Salesforce is in the roadmap Q1 of next year.
Yeah, we're putting integration throughout the entire sales stack. So Outreach is one that's coming up soon. SalesLoft, Salesforce, like whatever the tools that salespeople are using are tools that we're working on integrations for.
Well, there's a lot more folks asking questions. Will y'all be around afterwards to answer a little bit more? Right?
Yep.
Totally.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Will, miss you guys around the Tech Village, but we know you're off building some pretty cool product, and a good luck on closing some of those big deals we talked about in the networking.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Great. Blair of Flashtract, welcome literally to Atlanta. Blair, you just moved the whole company from Auburn, and you guys are in great capacious pad in Midtown, and you guys got about 20 employees, right?
Yeah, 16.
16, great.
Yep.
And just closed some funding. So you guys got some good firepower to get to the next level.
Yep, absolutely. We're putting it to good use.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing the Flashtract story today, and I know a lot of folks are interested in what y'all are building.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. This is my first time, so my presentation is way less polished than everyone else's, so you guys will just have to hang with me. How's that for seeing my screen?
Looks
Everything
good.
there. Cool. All right. So like John said, we're fresh out of Auburn. We started this company when I was working in banking software and saw that most companies most industries out there had a good billing or payment platform. But there wasn't really much in construction. And so I started talking to one of my friends, now co-founder, who was working in construction, and talked about the billing process. And how it works in commercial construction is you just have a general contractor and then a bunch of subcontractors on a project. And each month to get paid, the subcontractors have to submit a ton of paperwork. A payment application, which is an industry term for basically a really complicated invoice, a schedule of values, lien waivers, insurance documents, safety documents. And the issue comes in where there's no standard. And so each general contractor has their own set of documents that are just a bit different, even though most of the underlying data is the same. And so what happens when the subcontractors go to fill it out is they have to print it out or download it to their computer, and they do all the calculations by hand. And as you can imagine, that it just opens up a huge opportunity for error. And because of that, the general contractors then have to very meticulously check all of the documents that are sent up there. And so it causes this huge delay. So how we kind of got started was, we saw this market need, and pretty quickly we got something spun up that was just kind of like an MVP, and we were able to prove out the concept and get a couple of customers committed. And so what our product does is you as a general contractor can go in and set up custom required documents, and we can do pretty much any document that you want. And then you invite subcontractors to the platform. And when the subcontractors sign up, they we ask them for some key data and we save that data. And each time that there's a new form that requires new data, we ask that we save that data as well. So over time, the only thing that they have to enter when it comes time to bill is the percent complete, the material stored, or the labor costs. And with those three values, we can just generate all of the documents needed for them. So it really becomes a much smoother process because they can electronically sign it and send it over to the general contractor. The general contractors have some workflow automation and pretty advanced reporting so that they can look at all these documents in one place and very quickly and be confident that they're correct. So I think that, you know, in my breakout session, I was kind of telling everyone the goals for the end of this year are to start to figure out the inputs for, or the inputs required for a given output. We're one of those companies that COVID just kind of, we became more urgent for companies when COVID hit and work remote went. And so it just, it's been a bumpy ride, and we basically have just been figuring it out. But our monetization model is basically, we charge a SaaS fee to the general contractor. The subcontractors are free for basic functionality, but they can upgrade if they want some more workflow automation. And then as well as by the end of the year, we're rolling out payments and we're charging a transaction fee on that. Most of the people in our industry right now are sending checks via certified mail. It's costing them about $12 per check. And over 500 billion flows through that process every year. So what we've done to scale so far is, once we launched, we realized that subcontractors really loved our product, so much so that they were trying to get their other general contractors to work with us. And so that's been a really great channel for us. Obviously, take a referral anytime you can get it. But what we realized is, since general contractors can force the subcontractors to use it, then it could be a bad experience for them. But what we focus on is providing a really great experience for the subcontractors. So since they work with multiple general contractors, they can then refer us. So what we've been working through over the summer and into the fall is really maximizing that subcontractor experience. And instead of subcontractors pulling the referrals out of us, we're starting to push it on them and accelerate that. Another pretty unique thing about construction is it's a very relationship-driven industry. And given that, we realized pretty early on when we were just out there cold calling that it was hard to get anybody to pick up the phone. But as soon as we had one customer within a market, then it became very easy to network throughout that market. So we've been focusing on specific geographic locations and going deep with them, and then letting the network expand. The other big thing for us is just integrating with accounting and ERP solutions. And so we've been building up our partnership network. Like John said, we're in Midtown now, and we have been growing really rapidly. I was reading this morning that what was that company's name? Anyway, they started with 4 people in 2020 and grew to 200 now. And I thought we were doing pretty good to get to 20, but we are still hiring pretty aggressively, specifically looking for head of engineering to come in and really scale up the team. You know, up to date, we've just been a bunch of developers just getting stuff done, and it's time to put a little organization around that and really build the team, as well as sales. You know, we're getting a lot of good interest from those referrals, but we want to really push that and start to aggressively grab market share. And then I guess I will show you guys a quick demo just to be completely clear. This is the newest version. They launched it last night at 2 a.m. So we all know what?
Nice.
We all know what running on a fresh push is, how risky that is, but I'm doing it anyway. So this is what you would see when you set up a project as a general contractor. You'd have all your contracts listed out here with a bit of a status that can just kind of help you monitor what's going on. But we'll go ahead and go into plumbing and then assign it to a vendor, which is a subcontractor. We'll do Roberts Builders. Go ahead and assign that and send the invitation. And then what you can do is you can set up rules. So what I was talking about with those documents. So we'll go ahead and configure the rules, and you can set up different submission periods and then different documents. So we have a few in here. We'll just do a Georgia partial waiver. And then we will do a AIA style payout. So once you add those, then that will be required on every submission because of the rule we selected. Here you can see the breakout of the items on the contract. This is just an industry standard thing to do. And I'll go over to the subcontractor's account and show you how to fill it out. So go ahead and log out. So over here, you can see we got the invitation, looks good. We can see what rules are active. So we'll know what will be required when it does come time to submit. But obviously there have not been any submitted this period. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and edit. And what you can do is just go in, you can either put in a value here, let's say $100, then maybe 10% complete there, and you bought, I don't know, $5,000 worth of material there. Go ahead and save that, review the documents. So you can see from here, we've generated all of this with all of the information, with all of the calculations already provided. So we'll just put in our PIN to electronically sign it. Oops. Here we go. All right. It would help if I could remember this PIN. There we go. Then this is a really complicated document that a lot of people have trouble with. You can see all of these calculations are derived depending on the work you've completed, and you have a full breakout as well. So it's where a lot of the math issues come in. Put in our PIN again to sign that document. Go ahead and review the final revision, submit it. And then you can see it's pending approval. So we'll come out of there, go back to the other account, the general contractors. You can see there's work pending approval. See again, pending approval work. Here, you can easily see that both your documents have been generated. You can be confident that they're correct. You can see the work completed, and all you have to do from there is approve the bill, and you're good to go. And like I said, releasing later this year, we'll have the option to release payment where the subcontractors will be able to receive payment directly from our system. So
Hey,
that's about it.
that's impressive.
Thank you, John.
You guys have been working hard.
We have been working hard. It's like I said, it's been a really interesting year. But overall, I think a lot of really positive things have come out of this for construction. Kind of like Matthew was saying, the industry is usually behind the times, but this has helped really accelerate that and really show people that there is value in investing in technology, and there is better ways to do things than spreadsheets and mailing them back and forth.
Who's on your short target list for GCs and subs in Atlanta? If anyone on the Zoom knows of anybody.
Yeah, I mean, really, all of them, but our main target is commercial contractors that are doing anywhere from 75 to about 300 million in construction volume.
Okay.
And so the way I like to describe that is like those are not just kind of your local construction companies. They're kind of rounding the corner to becoming a big, like an established company. Usually we see about 50 to 100 employees there. So that's really who we go after.
Got it. Okay. Well, any other questions for Blair? It looks like you're hiring head of engineer, sales, SDRs, AEs.
Yep. Anybody that's good at Java, always looking for back-end engineers. There, you can never have too many of them.
Durante asked, did you guys say you were already integrated with QuickBooks?
We are not. So we're actually a little larger. Our target customer uses more Sage, Vista, Viewpoint, or construction-specific accounting software called CMIC. So those are our top three priorities on the accounting software side. QuickBooks is kind of lower priority for us right now.
Sure. And then Matthew asked more about the payment systems. Have you partnered with the local bank, or how do the economics work on that?
Yeah, so we're working with a new company out of Colorado, and they're like the API layer, and they provided us with their bank to get started. But the nice thing about that is over time, we can start to shift to our own bank of choice. So the way the economics work is, I think, like I said, the contractors currently are sending out certified or a check via certified mail. And from the people we've talked to, it costs about $12 per check. And so we're doing ACH, which is obviously faster and more secure than check, and basically costs nothing. And so we're planning on charging about $10 a check and going from there.
Excellent. Well, if there's not any questions, Blair, you'll be around for a little bit as we wrap up. I know we said 8 to 9, and really appreciate your time. I know you guys are in the midst of building as well as with Lavender and Claimbot. So we really appreciate everyone's time. We have an upcoming event on the healthcare meetup, which is, I believe, December 9th. JC, correct me if I'm wrong, or AT. And that's, we got a lot of exciting things going on the healthcare meetup. Last month we had Anthem, someone from Anthem come in and talk, and we think that that's going to continue to be a market that is ripe for disruption. So want to give a quick thank you to all the entrepreneurs who shared their product and story today, and know that we're all rooting for you. And so keep us updated on what y'all are up to, and we'll keep doing these and providing a platform to get it out in front of folks.